Hello, everyone, and welcome to But Did You Die with the Jet Sisters. This is episode 22. I'm Angie Orth, the oldest, shortest, wisest sister of all. And this is my counterpart, Rachel. She is very tall, very beautiful, and very hilarious.
A compliment? Who is this and what have you done with my sister?
Ha ha ha. Come on. I give you compliments all the time.
In your sleep?
Like, I love that dress. Can I have it?
Fair. I love that dress. It's mine now.
I love that there are no unique experiences. I keep finding all these memes on the internet, and it's just like my sister this, my sister that. I'm like, oh my gosh, we do that. I relate so much. And I've turned the Jet Sisters Instagram account into basically just sister memes.
I've noticed.
And like, why not?
I'll be
You know?
scrolling on Instagram and it's like 40 stories from the Jet Sisters and it's all like older sisters are great. And I'm like, what is this? Who did this? Rude. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome. Hope you had a nice 4th of July. We had a great 4th of July. Ange, how was Figchella?
Listen, I know that you were anti Figchella and you were not supportive of this new hyperfixation of mine, but the people I did invite to my homegrown fig based dinner party were blown away. I think some of the review, I mean, 5 stars all the way, figalicious, figtastic, figurific. I'll be back next year. The flatbread was a huge success. I made amaretto fig bread pudding that even our brother liked. Our brother of all people. It was really good. I did great. I made a minute by minute, which if you've never worked at a huge PR event, maybe you don't know what a minute by minute is, but it's literally like a multi-page document where it tells you what to do every single minute of the day. So I did that to make sure that everything was cooked at the right time. It was down to like put overalls on 4:56 p.m. and I did. And it went really great. I wore my cute little farmer overalls. I had a fig t-shirt and everybody loved it. And what I loved the most is that everybody was super excited. Like they were about that fig life and supporting my dreams of that I've had since last year about being a fig farmer.
I love you and I'm going to hold your hand as I say this, but you're insane.
Whatever. Everybody loved Figchella, and we will definitely be doing Figchella next year. I think I'm always going to call it Figchella. I'm not going to like change it to Figaroo or Figapalooza, but maybe each year I'm going to have a different theme, and we're probably going to start dressing up. So,
Sorry, fig is
not that you'll ever be
fig is
invited.
not the theme of your Figchella dinner party. What is the theme?
No, we're gonna have like figs in space or figs of the Regency era, and everybody dresses like Jane Austen. Like, come on, got to use your head here. This is an excuse to party, and by party I mean have one delightful fig based cocktail.
Well,
It was great. It was really great, and everybody
well,
loved it.
hey everyone, if you want to be invited to Figchella, please let Ange know so she can start planning today because there are only 361 days left to plan, and that's probably not enough time.
Anyway, Figchella was great. How was Tennessee?
It was marvelous. It was beautiful. We were up there for about a week. It was the biggest one. I think there were 38 Millers and DeBoards and everyone up there. A lot of
Cute.
fun. Did some hiking, did some swimming. Took both of the dogs, and they had a great time.
How'd that go?
They ran around off leash in fields. They met goats, they met cows. It was wonderful and wholesome, and we might start taking them every year. All right, let's go to this week's travel news, which I'm pretty sure happened today because I was scrolling TikTok and saw this. Have you seen this nonsense?
Yeah. What?
So, everyone.
Like, excuse me. Okay, then I won't go to Barcelona.
All right, everyone. So here's what's going on. There are anti-tourism protesters in Barcelona, so the locals, protesting basically tourism in their area. So they were firing. They were spraying water guns at all the tourists that were there. They were marching through areas that's pretty popular with tourists on Saturday and chanting for tourists to go home. They started squirting them with water, and they were carrying around signs that said Barcelona is not for sale. And I think this came from um, in basically increased rent and things around Spain and the area, which I totally get. There's a lot of Airbnbs, and that is gonna jack up prices. So basically, Barcelona is not happy with tourists. So sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand. So I understand multiple sides of that argument.
Mhm.
Airbnbs in popular tourist areas do drive out the people who actually live there, and I wouldn't paint all vacation rentals with that broad of a brush and say that they should all be canned. But certainly in places like Barcelona, places that are very popular, you look at like LA, New York City, San Francisco, places you don't want your citizens getting driven out of the city center, because then what are people even traveling for? You're just going to show up and find a bunch of Airbnbs and no real residents. But the water guns, I don't know. That to me that's a bit of a step too far. It's unwelcoming,
Yeah.
and I guess that's the point. But wouldn't you be so sad if you were having dinner? There's a picture of this couple having dinner on the sidewalk at a restaurant, local, they're not at a McDonald's. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And whew, did you hear that thunder?
Yes.
Just like, yeah,
Worried about you.
here I am in the she shed, which is
So
not
just be
safe.
ready to recover.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's sad. I understand. It's still sad. So the mayor was talking about some measures they're gonna make, increasing the nightly tourist tax at hotels or Airbnbs, and also limiting the number of cruise ship passengers. And I think what uh, what they want to do by 2028 is get rid of a lot of the short term rentals, which is about 10,000 apartments. So it looks like
in Barcelona.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks like goodbye Airbnb, goodbye VRBO. Possibly by 2028. Is that real? Is that just like a publicity thing? So they feel like they're doing something and answering, locals' demands. Who knows? But yikes.
But it's a sticky situation for everybody. Don't shoot me with a squirt gun or I'm going to come get you.
Or I will cry.
I'm just saying. Uh, I will either, depending on the day, depending on what's gone on in my travel day, I will either cry a lot or I will fight you. So good,
Great.
good luck.
Speaking of
Yeah.
raging,
Yikes.
let's get to our topic of the
Mm.
week, which is a lot of fun. This is a place we have both been to together and then separately. So I think we're going to have a lot of different points of view.
Oof.
I am talking, of course, of Las Vegas, baby. Before we get into it too much, I have a couple quick facts. Just want to give the lay of the land of Vegas. So Las Vegas
Mm.
is, of course, located in Nevada. But did you know
Nevada.
Nevada?
It's
Tomato,
Nevada.
tomato.
Indeed.
Oh my God. I'm
Continue.
so sick of you. Get a life. This podcast is
Okay.
over. Thanks, everyone.
Don't come for me.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. We made it to 22 episodes
You're right.
before I
Before Rachel disowned me completely. Okay. Sorry.
Well, now
Continue. Fine, Nevada.
get wrecked.
So what's up with
You
Nevada?
can see Las Vegas from space, and that's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Did you know that?
Hmm. No, I've never been to space.
Well, you can see it from space. You can see the Las
Cool.
Vegas Strip from space. NASA took a picture of it once, which is pretty cool. There are over 30
Cool.
hotels and casinos, so lots of lights
Only 30?
on the Strip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's more than the Strip in Vegas, but we're this is the Strip. Would you want to take a guess at how many weddings happen per day in Vegas?
If I had to take an uneducated guess with absolutely no cheat notes, I would say 150 weddings per day.
You knew. You saw my notes. Yes, it's
I did
150
indeed.
weddings a day. Over 100 movies have been shot in Vegas. Jason Bourne, The Hangover, Ocean's 11, just to name a few.
Obviously.
Vegas is in the desert, so it is freaking hot. It's a billion degrees.
Yeah. I did know that because of my last trip. I know that so
Yeah,
hard. It was so
some
hot.
people don't realize that it's the actual desert, but it sure is. And then my last quick fact is yes, there are free drinks when you're gambling. So
Mhm,
that's a fun little
mhm,
tidbit.
mhm.
But let's talk about what you can do in Vegas. Just about anything you can think of.
Yeah, Vegas, there is there is so much to do and it's always changing. That's one thing I noticed. I've probably been 7 or 8 times at this point, and every time I go, there's a brand new ginormous hotel, there's new shows, there's and then on, by the same token, there's stuff that's not there anymore. That you were like, "Wait, what about that volcano that used to erupt?" Gone. Or what about Siegfried and Roy?
Who?
Gone. Stuff, yeah, things that well, they died. But long story. The guys with the tigers, the guys that did the tiger show. Anyway, there's all the same stuff you would always want from Vegas. There's casinos, there's shows, there's so many residencies.
Mhm.
Like if you ever want to see your favorite artist, there's a chance that they'll be there. We saw for my bachelorette party, we saw Britney Spears, who was in residency. And I have a lot of feelings about that in hindsight. We could talk about that in
We'll,
another
we'll get
podcast, or,
there. We'll get there.
ugh,
Yeah,
ugh.
gambling,
But anyways,
concerts, circuses, clubbing, drinking, conferences, roller coasters,
so many roller
great
coasters.
dining options if you're a foodie. Truly, truly, the possibilities are endless. So we have gone together when I was a child, and so I don't remember that trip. And
At all?
in 1 minute, recap that trip. Go.
Okay, ready?
Mhm.
So we started out in the desert and mom was making us walk and it was terrible. And we stayed at Circus and it was terrible. There was a circus that was going on all the time. Mom swore the whole time she was there for a conference. She said, "I will never gamble. I'm not a gambler." Well, mom disappeared and we never saw her again because she was at the casino and we were all too young. So we couldn't even go in the casino. So we were just like standing on the edge, like, "Mom, dad, help." Mom's at the nickel slots, just blowing our inheritance like left and right. We went to see a B-52s concert, which was amazing. Rachel fell asleep on the floor. Other than that, great concert. Mom and dad left us alone in Las Vegas to go see the Righteous Brothers in concert. And so I distinctly remember us sitting on a street corner, just like chilling. I was like, should we beg? Like, I don't know. Mom's like, we'll come back and get you. This is pre-cell phone. So fun.
Well done. That was probably over a minute, but that was very entertaining. Our second trip together was your bachelorette party, which was so cool. All right, Ange, 1 minute.
I have 1 minute. All right, so I didn't want to have a huge bachelorette party. So Rachel and I just decided to go to Vegas, see Britney Spears. That was going to be my bachelorette party. My bestie, Alex in Wonderland, happened to also be there with her friend. So we had a little group. We went to we went to eat at Jada's restaurant. Jada De Laurentiis, famous celebrity chef, had an amazing table, ate a tomahawk ribeye, went to the Britney Spears concert. I have a lot of thoughts. Can't fit that into a minute, but it was great for what it was at the time. What else did we do? Oh my gosh. And then we went out and we went to this club on a roof. And then we went into more clubs like further down. And one of the signs said like where women go to get lost or something. And we were like, well, this is it for us. We're all going to die. Then we were out until the sun came up. And Rachel was mad about it because Rachel did not like to have any fun back in that day, even though it was my bachelorette party. Oh, and we saw the sun set on that big wheelie thing. And that was super fun. Anyway, so Rachel's complaining all the way through Las Vegas because the sun is coming up. She's like, I can't believe you made me stay up this late. Well, then 2 hours later, we had to get on our Elvis tour, which was in a convertible
Okay, wait,
57
wait,
pink
wait,
Cadillac.
wait. I gave you a minute, but this is actually worth slowing down and talking about. So let me back up. I agree with Ange. I was being a huge baby. I did not want to stay out and dance. I was what?
In Las
How
Vegas.
old was I in 2015?
I mean, at least 21.
Yeah, I was
Oh, in 2015. Oh my God, that was like 10 years ago.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my god, you're right. Okay, so I think I was freshly 21. I didn't like doing stuff. I was exhausted. It was 6 a.m. and I was mad about it. And there's video. There's video of me being angry. But yes, we stayed out,
uh,
danced all night, and then slept for 2 hours maybe, and then went to what would you call this?
it was Elvis's private pink Cadillac tour of Vegas. Yeah.
The Cadillac did not have air conditioning. He did not have water.
Mm-mm.
He only had strawberries. 8 a.m. and he was dressed as Elvis.
We were
It sounds like a fever
fully,
dream. It does
fully
not sound real.
It felt like a fever dream, and it also felt like I was going to throw up the whole time because I stayed out till 6 a.m. dancing. So, Vegas, Elvis. We went to all these sites. He gave us, this is before I even knew anything about Elvis. I know so much more about Elvis now. And so then I was like, I don't care. I don't care where Elvis got married. I don't care where Elvis was on tour. I just wanted to throw up. It was so unbearably hot. Oh my gosh. It was like August.
Yeah, and he took us to the Vegas sign, the famous one. There's a giant line. He
Yeah.
takes us to the front of the line, skips everyone, and meanwhile is yelling at everyone and saying, "Get your own Elvis," while we just take pictures. He pulls out a speaker and starts singing, and we're just sitting there under the sign where people are taking pictures, getting serenaded by Elvis at 11 a.m.
And he was like, "All right, I want to know your top 5 Elvis songs, and I'm going to sing them for you right now." And we were like, "Oh no, we did not know there was going to be a quiz." This is before. I'm so much more into Elvis than I was then, like so
I
much
told you
more. And so I'm disappointed in myself. But
but I was
the fact that I only had a strawberry for rehydration, it was
listen.
just, I felt, oh
I
my God,
really,
it's a great
I really
memory
need to go
now.
back. And then since then, we have both gone separately. Um, okay, I'll do mine under a minute because I only gave you a minute. Listen fast, people.
Okay, go.
So last year, Jessi and I went, and we went and saw RuPaul's Drag Race, which was amazing. And we gambled a whole bunch. She was there for our conference, so she was like, "Just come for the weekend." And I said yes. So we went. We um, this is really hard. We saw RuPaul, and we stayed at the Flamingo. That was pretty fun. And then the second day, we were like, "What should we do?" We didn't have any solid plans, and there are people standing on the streets who are like, "Oh, come to our club, come do this." And some guy stopped us and was like, "Hey, we have a party bus. We invite half girls, half guys. We take you to the front line of 3 clubs. We go to a private bar. We do this. We do this. It's this much money. Do you want to do it?" We were like, that kind of sounds fun. We get to go to a couple clubs, party bus. Why not? So I'll say this: we ended up doing it. This is going to turn into a disaster, so we'll get there later. Um, Met some very nice, freshly 21 Wisconsin boys who I am friends with on Instagram to this day. They're lovely, lovely people. Um, Jessi won big at the casino. We went to a super fancy dinner, and I think that's it. Was that a minute?
I feel like that was longer than a minute, but I didn't really record it. I forgot.
Okay.
So that was okay. I mean, I feel like that's one way people go to Vegas is that somebody's going to a conference. So you might as well go meet up with them, stay in their room for free, and hang out and explore Vegas. It's also, I gotta say, Vegas is one of the cheapest destinations to get to,
Mm-hmm.
and historically has been one of the cheapest destinations to stay in because it's a destination where they anticipate you're spending your money on activities and food and all that. So hotels you can be cheaper. I don't know. I feel like they've gotten rid of a lot of those like old holdouts, like the Tropicana. I think is gone. A lot of the ones that used to be like $55 a night aren't there anymore.
Oh, Circus is a
Yeah.
is a ghost town. It's still there, and you can book it, but it's like the most disgusting place you can go.
It's probably like the cheapest place you can stay
I
on the
think it
strip
is.
and
Yeah.
for good reason. I've
Oh,
stayed in so many places on the strip that aren't there anymore.
really?
It's crazy.
Vegas is cool. Ange, go.
Go where? What?
You're
What?
Rick, you and
Oh,
Rick.
you want to talk about the time I went with Rick?
Yes, because there's a lot of Vegas things, and you gamble and you see shows, you do this, but you did a little bit different of a Vegas trip, right?
Sort of. Yeah, we stayed right off the strip. We went with a campaign with Holiday Inn Club Vacations. So they have like vacation rental kind of deals, which is that location is right next to the Sphere and they were building the Sphere. So it wasn't happening, but it's like right out the window from and walking distance to the what is that dang Ferris wheel called? It's not the Eye, the Ring, the Rose, the Circle. Anyway, it's a thing that goes around and around and it's really big. You can walk right to it. So Rick and I went and we wanted to do some stuff on the strip, which of course, fun, great. We ate amazing food and gambled and did all the strip things. But we also rented a luxury sports car. We rented a Corvette Stingray, which fun fact, my husband is 6'4" and he doesn't fit in all the cars that they have. So luckily the Corvette Stingray, which is what we reserved, was actually the one that would fit him because the other ones, his head would just shoot right out the top. Speaking of that, it was a convertible. It was so hot when we were there. It was 125 plus and with I was going to say with the wind chill, with the heat index, it was unbearably hot. And so we couldn't even put the top down because our heads would have like caught on fire and we'd just be driving around with our hair on fire. But we drove around to some of the state parks. We went to the Hoover Dam and Lake Mead. And so we actually got to tour outside and I had never done that. And all these trips to Vegas, I had never gotten off the strip and really not very far away from the lights of Vegas. Are some great hiking. Not that we could do it. I mean, it was literally, I was like, I think we might die if we go out of sight of the car, we may perish. So we didn't. And you can't drink enough water. Like there's just not enough water in the world to keep you hydrated. And I distinctly remember when we were at the Hoover Dam, there was blood everywhere because people's noses were bleeding from the dry weather. And there's just drips of blood everywhere you go. So keep that in mind when you're cruising around. Mind you, we went in June.
Yeah, Vegas is a lot of fun. We obviously had a great time, but it would not be But Did You Die without the disaster. And oh boy, do we have disasters. Ange, you go first because I'll just get mad.
After a couple of days of walking around Vegas in 125 plus degree heat, we I can't remember if we were on our way out or on our whatever to the casino, and Rick's shoes just melted. The bottoms of them fully fell off. All the glue had melted because it was so hot, and he had to throw his shoes away because it was so dang hot that was it. His and those were his nice shoes too. You know, I think man has one nice pair of shoes and they melted in Las Vegas. So, not so much a disaster, but it would have been if he only had one pair of shoes and had to proceed barefoot or something, you know, bring extra shoes.
Um,
Now, Ray, what happened to you and Jessi?
so let me preface by saying this story is 30 minutes long, so I am going to cut a lot of detail out.
You're going to have to go way
I
faster.
know. So Jessi and I got pulled to go on this tour. There's people all over the street saying, "Come do this, come do this." So the guy who was selling us this tour is talking about, everyone you see here, we're going to be on the bus, we're going to be taking you around. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, you know, give us all your money, give us your phone number. We'll tell you where to meet us at the first bar, and then we'll all go together. So we're like, why not? Great. Um, so it's a couple hours later, and we're in the hotel room, we're getting ready, and we get a phone call from the guy. So we pick up the phone, and he's like, "Hey," I'm so angry already. He's like, "Hey, my shift ended, and I don't have time to go home and take a shower. Can I take a shower in your room?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like so shocked. I'm like, "Let me call you back." And I hang up and I'm like, whoa, like, what a weird thing. Like, number one, no. Creepy man, I don't know. You want to come to my room and get naked? Ew, ew. And bless Jessie's heart, she's like, "Well, we could leave while he showers." I'm like, he doesn't need to take a shower.
Jessie's so
Yeah,
nice.
Jessie's being very
No.
nice. I'm like, no, he doesn't need to take a shower. He's being weird and extremely creepy. So I call him back and I'm like, "Hey, we're not comfortable. side note, us women need to stop being nice. Like, hey, we're just not
Uh-huh.
comfortable with you coming here.
You don't have to make an excuse for why a stranger can't
Yes.
come get naked
But
in your hotel room you
but
paid for, but yes.
of course, I'm being southern, and I'm like, we're just not comfortable. So sorry. Yeah,
I'm so sorry to inconvenience you.
it's a no. And he goes, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have time. Like this is such BS. And I'm like, not my problem. Click. So I was
Did you say that?
I said something along the
No,
lines like,
you
well,
didn't say that.
I was like, well, I don't know how to help
Mm.
you. Like it at, after he was like, oh, this is your fault, I was like, oh, the hell it is. So that made me so angry. And then I was like, I don't even want to go to this. If this is the guy that's gonna be here all
Mm.
night, like, are we getting roofied? Like what? So
Uh-huh.
we decided we would go to the location and like suss it out because we already paid for it, which is not an excuse to do something like whatever. So we go,
I mean, that's how they get you,
yeah.
you know?
So we go to the first bar. We're seeing everyone that's there. It's a completely different group of people. They seem nice. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go. I'm gonna watch everyone make my drink. They were giving out little Jello shots that were pre-made. Didn't do those. Um, Guy wasn't there, so I felt a lot better. So we end up going out
Mm.
meeting the very young Wisconsin boys who had never had alcohol. So we were like, okay, try this. Now try this. I mean, we were playing Connect Four at 2 a.m.
Now drink some water.
Yes, like it turned out to be a lot of fun, but my goodness,
But it could have gone wrong.
it could have gone wrong. And that man, so I Facebook stalked him because we had his name, wife and child, and I just want to put his name out on the internet because he's creepy. I mean, who like no. I'm not even. That was
There's no reason that a stranger would have to ask another stranger to use the shower in their hotel room because they just didn't know what they were going to do. Like, is it your first day
you don't
working
have
ever? You just
you
didn't
don't have
know
a
you were going to
friend.
want to take a shower? You don't have a home? Like, get out of here, guy. Yeah. But I will say that we've all been in situations like that where we felt guilty about not being helpful or not being nice, and they can spot us coming.
Mhm.
I still do it. It's still my instinct to be like, oh, sorry, and to apologize. And I'm like, no, no, no. Can I tell you a story today? We probably don't have time for it to make it in there, but I went to the grocery store today, which I never do because I just feel like people are always up in my business and bothering me. And I go to grab a cart, and this guy who has just walked in, who is wearing a black hoodie and black sweatpants, it's 7,000 degrees here. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Already don't trust you. So he walks in, he sees me coming, he pulls a cart out for me and gives it to me, which I'm like, thanks. Now I understand that you're going to follow me around the store for the rest of the time. And he did, because I guess we had a connection, because he did me a favor. And so, he wanted to like stop at the strawberries and like look at each other. And I'm like, bro, oh my gosh, no. And so I'm like purposely now my trip to the store to buy strawberries for my fig jam is going all kinds of sideways because I'm trying to avoid this weird guy who just wants to talk to me. So I'm like going on different aisles and doing my shopping in reverse. Anyway, so I turn down the aisle and I'm looking for something, and the guy turns down the other side of the aisle and he's heading toward me. And I'm like, you know what? First thing I have is like, well, I have to keep going because I don't want it to be awkward. And so I'm going to have to pass him really closely. And then he's going to say something to me again. And it's going to be so awkward. And I was like, I actually don't have to not hurt this guy's feelings. Like, if I turn around and go off this aisle right now and it hurts his feelings, like, them's the breaks, pal. So I just left the aisle. I just turned around and went away. And I was like, look at me living life, not caring at all what people think about me.
Being a woman is hard.
Like, this very day, 2024, I am 42 years old, and I'm still like, oh, is that going to be upsetting? Is he going to follow me out of the store? Like, am I nice enough? Did I smile too hard? Because of course somebody did something for me, so I'm like, thank you. This does not mean I want anything from you. I'm just being polite. We're not friends.
Not
So,
friendly.
and this is why I do DoorDash.
Mhm.
Everybody leave me alone.
Ladies, we got to start being mean to men. It's okay to just go
Yeah.
ew and run. or just stare them down.
Yeah.
You and stare
I
them down. Like, I'm not leaving. I gotta buy my strawberries. Get out of here. This has turned into a
Well, that's the thing. I was like, this is a whole lesson. This is a whole book, YouTube. This is a class. Should we teach a class on not being so nice to
no,
people?
because
I don't
I
know if I'd
need
be any
that
good at it.
class. No, I need to be taught. Um,
We need to take that
we need,
class.
okay. Well, so those were the disasters. Could have
Sidebar.
been a lot worse. Melting
Yes,
shoes. Also, grapes,
sure.
as they call it.
Also, we could have gotten abducted because our parents left us on the street corner
Mom will deny it.
at the
Mom
Mirage
will never admit that. I bet.
to tell her dying day. But I'll tell you what, we were not at the Righteous Brothers concert, were we? So where were we?
Okay, you were at the circus.
I tell you what.
You were at the circus.
Yeah,
Right. All right. All right.
sure.
All right. Travel tip: visiting Vegas. The airport's very close, so you don't need to rent a car. Just Uber from the airport and then walk where you need to go. Get an Uber if you need it.
Or take the monorail.
I can,
They also have a hop on, hop off bus tour, which is pretty fun, even though it was 111 million degrees and sitting up there was a challenge. But yeah, it's relatively close. And so if you're not going exploring elsewhere, you really don't need to rent a car.
so you're going to Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Going to Puerto Rico to speak at TBEX. Probably my, I don't know, 15th TBEX or something. Very excited.
And
Can't wait.
then I'm spending a week.
Wish you were coming.
Well, I'm also packing, but packing up my house because we're moving in 2 weeks. Crazy.
Ah,
Crazy.
super exciting.
All right.
Lots going on.
Unhinged sign offs. I've got mine. Shall I go first?
Sure.
What happens in Vegas is shared on this podcast. Goodbye.
And I didn't write one, but can we just play an audio clip of Travis Kelce singing Viva Las Vegas at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like shrieking it. And it was so funny. Can that just be my unhinged sign off? Because that was awesome.
If I can find it. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Make sure you like and rate and comment about this podcast. That is the only way it will be shared with other people who don't know about us. 5 stars or Angie will cry.
If you want to come to Figchella, let me know.
All right. Goodbye.
See, I was so brief before because you gave me a time limit and now I can't. Yeah. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.